Trying to kick someone while they're down or take advantage of their misfortunes is never a cool thing to do, but in the wild, it is one hell of a way to get yourself a free snack. If it works out, that is, and that very rarely does. Come with me. Let's take a look. There was this whole gang of hyenas acting like they were the toughest crew around. They had a lioness completely surrounded, and they were trying to jack its kill. They managed to chase it off and were having a real laugh about it, but then things took a wild turn. A scary male lion showed up on the scene. It stopped for a second, looked around, and assessed the situation. There were about 15 hyenas there, but the lion wasn't impressed at all. It started strolling towards them like it owned the place, and the hyenas weren't laughing anymore. They scattered faster than you could blink, making way for the big boss. All by itself, the lion walked right up and took back the kill those hyenas had stolen, and the hyenas were too chicken to do anything about it. So this dog spotted a kangaroo chilling in a small pool of water and got it all wrong. It thought the kangaroo was stuck, but instead of trying to help, it decided to go all tough guy and attack it. The dog jumped right into that water, thinking it was gonna show that kangaroo who was boss. Big mistake. Turns out that roo was way stronger than it looked. And before the dog could even think about taking a bite, the kangaroo was slapping it around like it was a housewife in the 50s. The dog was totally caught off guard, and it didn't land a single bite. Finally, the dog got its act together and made it out of there, leaving the kangaroo to enjoy its pool in peace. A couple of lions decided to go hunting here, but things were shaky from the get-go. They managed to surprise some buffaloes and single one out, but when one lion tried to jump on the buffalo's back, the stubborn buffalo kept moving and kicking, giving the lion a real beating. The other lion tried to corner it, but the buffalo tried to stab it with its horns. Finally, they got a grip on the beast. One lion had its neck, and the other was on its back. But then the buffalo's pals came back for revenge. One buffalo stabbed the lion holding its buddy's neck with its horn and tossed it away, while the other buffalo charged the second lion. They quickly freed their pal, and the lions looked at each other like, "We can't take on all three," and they realized their hunt was toast and had to bail.
Yo, check it out. Yo, you see that line?
Halfway inside a warthog's den, this hungry leopard was trying to drag out its next meal. The warthog had nowhere to escape, and the leopard was certain that it was gonna have it for dinner. But this crazy hyena suddenly showed up. It had heard the noise and saw its chance. It snuck up behind the distracted big cat very quietly and lightly bit it on its back. What happened next was unbelievable. That tough leopard nearly jumped out of its skin. It was so startled, it practically teleported out of that den before running away, and it never even looked back. This clan had a lone male lion surrounded, and were going at it with everything they had. They were dead set on taking the big cat down, and things looked so grim for the lion the vultures were already there, waiting to get a bite of the dead lion's corpse after it died. But out of nowhere, two lionesses showed up in the distance, and as soon as they clocked what was going down, they came charging in. The hyenas ran away so fast it was like someone had hit the rewind button, and in less than 10 seconds, the whole area was hyena-free. Three young male lions came across a rhino that was totally stuck in the muddy waters of a small lake here. The lions thought they hit the jackpot and rushed over, surrounding the big beast. They started acting all tough, bullying the rhino and thinking they were gonna score an easy dinner. But then the craziest thing happened. The rhino, against all odds, managed to get itself out of that sticky situation, and the lions were totally shocked. The tables had turned in an instant, and the rhino was the one chasing after them now. One of the lions even tried to be smart and attacked the rhino as it was coming out, but it got tossed aside like it was nothing. The rhino was mad as hell, and those kitties quickly realized they were no match for the furious beast and started running for their lives.
Yes, good boy, yes.
Check this out. This pride of lions had ganged up on a poor little lizard and was tormenting it. One of the young males snagged it in its mouth, all proud of itself, ready to start devouring the poor thing. But then, out of nowhere, a massive buffalo showed up. This big guy didn't like what it was seeing. Maybe it was the lizard's bestie, or maybe it was just some extreme vegan crusader. Who knows? Anyway, the buffalo came charging in like a bulldozer. It rammed one of the lions and sent it flying. As soon as the lion hit the ground, it took off running. The buffalo then turned to the other lion, giving it the stink eye, and it got up and ran like the wind. Turns out they were only tough when picking on a tiny lizard, but face to face with this buffalo bouncer, they were out of there faster than you could blink. All hidden in the grass, this lioness thought it was gonna pull off an epic ambush on some buffaloes. But then, plot twist, a buffalo spotted it. You'd think the lioness would have run, but it didn't. It just sat there, trying to play it cool like it didn't give a hoot. The buffalo wasn't buying it though, and it moved towards the lioness. The lioness tried to bail, all slow and casual-like, but the buffalo went from 0 to hero in a split second. It charged at the lioness at full speed, and next thing you know, it was using those horns like a pro, stabbing and tossing the lioness around. When the dust settled, the buffalo just walked off, leaving the lioness in a world of hurt. Broken leg, probably internal damage, the works. It was basically a death sentence waiting to take effect for the poor big cat. If there was a visual representation for the phrase punching above your weight, this would be it. Facing 5 hungry tigers, this lone duck made a complete mockery out of them. They had it completely cornered, but man, were they in for a surprise. The duck was no ordinary bird, and as soon as it touched the water, it turned into some kind of aquatic ninja. Every time the tigers got close, whoosh, the duck would dive deep, leaving the tigers scratching their heads. They'd be searching in one spot, and suddenly the duck would pop up behind them, probably laughing its feathers off. It was like playing the world's wettest game of whack-a-mole, and the tigers were definitely not winning. The duck kept diving and resurfacing all over the place, making the tigers look like total chumps. This massive rhino was strutting around like it owned the place. It stumbled across a whole herd of bison and thought, hey, I'm gonna show these guys who's boss. The rhino was full of itself, and it walked right up to one of the bison. It got real close, eyeballing the bison like it was trying to start something. The rhino was probably thinking it could scare the bison just by being big and tough. But then, the bison decided to call the rhino's bluff and faked a charge, and the big bad rhino turned tail and ran like its rear end was on fire. Talk about a reality check. Feeling big and tough and wanting to show off in front of its little calf, this rhino spotted a massive elephant and thought, yeah, I'm gonna mess with that guy. The rhino started throwing its weight around, trying to scare the elephant away from the watering hole. The elephant wasn't fazed at all, and it decided that it was time to teach this punk a lesson. It charged at the rhino, stabbing it with its tusk. That was when the rhino realized it had made a huge mistake. It scrambled to its feet and took off running with its calf right behind it. The elephant chased after them, still mad as hell. The poor calf was probably wondering how foolish his dad must have been to think that messing with an elephant was a good idea. Here's a greedy snake that thought it had scored an easy meal. It slithered up to some baby rabbits and was planning to swallow them whole. Mama rabbit caught wind of what was going down though, and went absolutely bonkers. This rabbit didn't just defend her babies. She turned into a tornado of fury. The snake was eyeing up its dinner one second, and the next, it was getting the beating of its life. Mama rabbit was kicking, scratching, and biting like crazy. It was wild. The snake was desperately trying to escape, but the angry rabbit wasn't letting up. It kept chasing and attacking, showing no mercy. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to the channel. We plan on making many more of these, and we'd love it if you join us on our journey. Oh, and turn on your notifications bell if you want to get notified when we upload new videos. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.